Doc John Busch, Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, and Helen, his life and business partner, walked and talked with the animals for more than 38 years. The animals of Stevens County and their caretakers were held in high regard by this couple. Doc's practice was intended for large animal and livestock production. However, every child who approached him with a tiny bird bearing a broken wing could expect the same attention and care as farmers and herd producers. All creatures, great and small, this couple cared for them all. The vet practice, located in Chicago, Minnesota of Stevens County, initiated many innovations in animal care. Busch owned the first mobile clinic with a two-way radio and the state-of-the-art climate control. He was an animal health supervisor of the first pig confinement operation in the county. His challenges included treating the first carbon monoxide poisoning of a dairy herd experienced in this location. Both Doc and Helen had grown up appreciating the value of livestock and the care they required. Along with that principle, the heart and mind of this couple were about caring for all creatures, animal or human. John's interest in animals came naturally. He was born to Bernard and Bertha Melky Busch on December 18, 1917. Ben and Bertha were farmers in Pepperton Township, Stevens County. John's mother, Bertha, died before he was a year old. With a farm and older children to care for, baby John was placed with friends, the Devereaux, until he was 4 years old. At that time, reunited with his family, they moved to Hancock, Minnesota. The family included his father Ben and 3 brothers, Henry, Joseph, Larry, and 1 sister, Agnes. John attended his first 8 years of school in Hancock, when once again the family moved back to the home farm. This meant John would go to the Alberta High School, where he graduated with the class of 1935. He furthered his education with 2 years at the West Central School of Agriculture in Morris, attending in 1936 and 1937. Many young people from the region acquired advanced academics and experience at this school, which was set up at the time when agriculture was seeing enormous progress and development. Its mission was to provide education to those seeking a career in agriculture or in support fields to agriculture. John wanted to become a veterinarian, so he entered pre-vet classes at St. John's University in Collegeville near St. Cloud, Minnesota. Disturbing actions of war were occurring in Europe, and John entered the United States Army 124th Cavalry Regiment. John liked horses, so this was a good fit for him, and gave him experience for his dream to be a veterinarian. He served in the Medical Administrative Corps as a second lieutenant in the China-Burma-India Theater. He was discharged as a first lieutenant in 1946. Still desiring to be a veterinarian someday, he attended Iowa State to take courses in animal husbandry. In his home state of Minnesota, other returning veterans with the same dream were soliciting the legislature and the faculty at the University of Minnesota to begin a vet med school. They were successful by using some smart strategy. They convinced the legislature that a veterinary school was crucial to the economic growth and the public health in Minnesota. They also used their status as veterans who had put their dreams for this achievement on hold to serve their country. To make a compelling message, they showed up at the meetings in their military uniforms and explained that they were already 5 years behind in their careers. That message was coupled with the lack of accredited schools providing this degree, numbering only 10 in the entire USA. The School of Veterinary Medicine was begun with the class of 1947. 350 applied for 24 spaces in the first class. John Busch from Stevens County was one of the 24 students accepted. At the very time that John was 4 years old and being reunited with his family, a daughter was born to a farm couple in Colfax, Wisconsin. Helga and Rudolf Bjerknes welcomed Helen on December 19, 1921. She was the youngest of 6 children. Helen had 3 brothers, Glenn, Reuben, and Olaf, and 2 sisters, Alpha and Martha. As a child, she was a happy little sister and quite mischievous. Her siblings remembered her only depressed time was at the age of 2 when she was sick with rheumatic fever. She only got angry when they used her full name, Helen Sophie. Helen began her caretaking of all creatures great and small with her Raggedy Ann doll that she spent hours with. The Bjerknes family lived on a beautiful farm with dairy cows and rolling hills and valleys. She learned to milk and garden on the farm and never forgot to squirt a treat to the kitties when she was milking. Helen graduated from Colfax High School in 1940. In her yearbook, the remembrance under her picture is as true today as it was then. Her happy smile, many friends has won. Helen went to work at Kemp's Ice Cream. Her future was about to intersect with another person whose smile had also won many friends. John Busch was attending the new Vet Med College and working in the research barns at the University of Minnesota. By 1948, he needed a little fun, so he attended a dance at the Friendship Club. There he met the tall, regal Helen Bjerknes. They both enjoyed a turn or two on the floor, and by the next year became Mr. and Mrs. John Busch on August 20th, 1949, with the marriage held at Incarnation Catholic Church in Minneapolis. They were a striking couple, both tall and good-looking, but it was those smiles that drew people in. Some people have the rare gift of lighting up the space they are in. They make others comfortable, and others find themselves happy just being around them. This was true of Helen and John as a couple. They just made you feel happy. For the next 2 years, John studied and worked at the University of Minnesota. He graduated on June 16, 1951, with the first vet medicine class at the University of Minnesota. He had achieved both a Bachelor of Science degree and a Doctor of Vet Medicine degree. The couple had also accomplished the start of their family. Michael was born April 1950, and Tom, the second child, was soon on the way, born in April 1952. It was time to get a job. With 4 years in the service and 5 years of study behind him, Doc looked for a location to begin his long-awaited practice. Where better than back home in Chicago, Minnesota? They moved back to John's birthplace. At first, he traveled the countryside with his equipment in his car, building up his clientele and patient list of creatures. As this business grew, so did the family. Barbara arrived in February 1954, Steve in April 1956, Sheila in October 1962, and David in February 1964. The home in Chicago was the place they raised their family and built their practice. John was the doc and the dad. Helen was the manager and the mom. By 1963, that desired mobile clinic was a familiar sight in the county, taking care of all creatures, great and small. The couple retired in 1989 after 38 years. Doc would remain Doc the rest of his life. Doc and Helen both were involved in the community and pursued a number of personal interests. They enjoyed gardening. Doc was more about the mowing and the eating garden. Helen grew both vegetables and flowers. She also enjoyed a number of creative projects like sewing, knitting, and refinishing furniture. Doc mowed, shoveled, did woodworking, and drove his John Deere tractors. The best of times were had with the grown children and the arriving grandchildren. They treasured each of the 12 grandchildren that would join the Busch clan. Because they made people happy and comfortable, they were fun to be around and sought by many organizations and causes. Doc served on the Chicago Fire Department for 50 years. He was a key board of director member for the Stevens County Historical Museum during the building and restoration campaign on the building. He happily drew in others to the fundraising events and ongoing programs. Other county-wide organizations he was part of were the American Legion and the Sons of Norway. For many years, he volunteered and did the health testing of the 4-H animals for the Stevens County Fair. Doc and Helen were each other's sweethearts for all 61 years of marriage. The sincerity, kindness, and commitment they shared with each other and their family was felt and experienced by others. They were generous with their ability to live ordinary days in extraordinary ways. Doc John Busch was a caretaker on Earth for almost 93 years. On July 25, 2010, he left the caretaking to Helen, his life partner. His funeral was held at the St. Mary's Catholic Church in Chicago, where the family had attended. Helen continues with this mission. They walked and talked with the animals and with the people of Stevens County. They are an example for all of us to care for each other and all things in creation, great or small.